Hello, and welcome to the Miskatonic Playhouse. I'm T.A. Newman, your host. My team and I will be bringing to life adventures using the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, which contains mature themes, cosmic horror, character death, and loss of sanity. Our mystery can be found in the Miskatonic repository, where people like you and me can write adventures for others to play. We'd like to thank Syrinscape, whose tools have helped provide the background sounds that you hear. And if you'd like to become a friend of the Playhouse, then please support us on Ko-fi. That's kofi.com/Miskatonic Playhouse, where you can gain access to exclusive shows and content for as little as £1. Gathering in April of 1813 for a garden party in Buxton, Derbyshire, our investigators learn from the enigmatic host Miss Louisa Millwood that her brother is missing. With implications of gambling debts and a moral dilemma, the friends of Miss Millwood walk the fine line between propriety and the sordid underbelly of the town. Now it's time to pull back the curtain and roll the dice. Keeper, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Dearest viewer, good evening, and welcome back to the Miskatonic Playhouse. As always, I am your most humble servant, ValyGirl Heather, and the keeper for tonight's ongoing story, The Well of All Fear by Cat Clay. Tonight, we rejoin our investigators at Inglemere House, the home of Sir Devlin Culverton. They have some questions, as I believe Sir Devlin also may have the answers. Again, I extend to you all the invitation to join us as we continue this rather salubrious tale of shadowy secrets and see what our investigators uncover next. Players, are you ready? Excellent. Then let us begin. Sir Devlin Culverton, tall, slender, the cheekbones that bring the haughtiness to his face, holding in his bony hand the letter of introduction written for all of you by Miss Louisa Millhouse in the ongoing search for her missing brother, Henry, who is, well, rather known as the Cad and very rakish, and from the contents of his private bedroom that you entered into to find out further information, well, let's just say that vices seem to appeal more to him than the constraints of the societal manners today. Sir Culverton is a well-known companion, potentially could be called even a best friend to the missing Henry. And as he stands there looking at each of you, sizing each of you up, ladies, for you, this is rather uncomfortable because in the way his eyes move, you almost feel like he is looking through your clothing as a small, just a tiny curl on one side of his lips comes to his face. It's rather discomforting. But he does a little head nod and then moves deftly to sit in the large chair with the rather disturbing painting behind him. So,
sorry.
Yep, go ahead.
Just before he manages to sit down, I want to hold my hand out. Sir Calverton, Captain Trumpeter, might I introduce you to Miss Chesterton, and Miss Azad, and of course Mr. Fergusson.
Your servant, sir. As he smirks a little bit.
Ruth gives a slight curtsy to the societally expected level for somebody who is a sir.
Mr. Fergusson bows slightly too deeply.
Penelope curtsies slightly not deeply enough.
He then deftly moves over to his chair and sits, crossing his rather slender legs over. So, it seems Henry is missing. Huh. And what can I do for each of you?
Well, you see, we know that you are excellent companions of each other, and we just wondered when the last time that you saw him might be.
Oh, if that's all. Well, as it's fairly common knowledge, we were playing cards at the Graves Hotel. Millwood kept drinking and became progressively more drunk. There were arguments, there were bets made, of a certain delicate nature. And I suggested it was time for him to go home. I saw him to the door and returned to the table to continue playing.
When was this?
Oh, just a couple of nights ago. I think it was the 14th. We argued a bit because, well, he was making rather an ass of himself.
This
Did he not
delicate,
return home?
this somewhat delicate bet that you mentioned, I understand he's had a round of bad luck at cards of late.
Oh,
So
he has.
did he lose this delicate bet?
Well, as a matter of fact, he did. And he smiles a little bit too much at that.
And who
May
did
we
he lose this
inquire?
bet to?
Why, to me, of course.
Of course. Of course.
Maybe inquire as to the nature of this bet. I'm sure you'll understand that his dear sister is beside herself with worry.
And his eyes flicker between Ruth and Penelope, lingering for a little bit, like a beat or two more than is appropriate. The smile doesn't leave his face. Well, I mean, a bet is a bet, and it must be honored. So, yes, it seems when Mr. Millwood ran out of funds and the house would not allow him to extend his credit, he put his dear sister's virginity on the table. And I won.
Mr.
You do realize that there's not his to give away.
Sir Devlin, people are not property, and thus cannot be bartered, and must not be bartered. The bet is null and void, as I'm sure Miss Chesterton would attest to as well, sir.
Indeed. The buying and selling of human beings was outlawed within England just a few years ago.
Oh,
But in the colonies, of course, it continues.
come now. It is his, as in a sense. I mean, it is up to Mr. Millwood as the rightful heir and controlling interest in the manor, and overseeing the family, which includes the marriage or life of his sister.
I do have this,
She is nothing more than a woman, of course.
and I take it as a gentleman, you have this in writing, of course. You have an IOU, as it were, a written agreement with Mr. Millwood. It would have been prudent
Signed
to do so. Signed, of course.
by
Well,
both and an observer, of course.
Naturally.
no, of course I don't. He regretted it immediately. As soon as I won, of course. He wasn't expecting to lose that hand, and I one-upped him, as I
So-
tend to do.
So you
But-
actually have no proof other than hearsay, and while Mr. Millwood is absent, you have no other way of proving this. A chance I'm seeing why he decided to vacate this societal sphere for now.
Have you done anything else, or have any other questions or interests besides coming into my home and insulting me? For whatever it
Quite
is,
frankly.
he's not here. I haven't seen him. And without his full permission and arrangements to be made on his behalf, there's not much I can do. If that reassures you.
Quite.
Mr.
A
Fergusson.
marriage is not arranged over a game of cards.
Many a marriage has been arranged over a game of cards. It just wouldn't be openly discussed. But then again, propriety does seem to cause, well, storytellers of us all. Is there anything else that you require?
Why you are telling us stories with no proof other than your own word, sir?
A word we struggle to believe, sir.
Believe it or not, I left him at the door to go home. And that is the last I saw of him. And he reaches up to his, and he's kind of starts to fiddle with a cufflink on one of his hands. Roll me a psychology roll, please, all of you.
Oh.
I want to know if this man has a fake card up his sleeve. Psychology.
86 over 50, a failure.
I've yet
Loading.
to succeed on any.
Hard success.
Ooh.
Oh,
71 over 10.
excellent. Excellent. Okay. For our hard success, you, oddly enough, recognize, you kind of see what he's doing as he's twisting the right cufflink ever so slowly. You get the impression that he's holding something back, or he's not telling you the truth. You're not sure which, but it's almost like a tell. Like, you're pretty sure as a gambling man, that's probably his tell. So you know there's something more there that he's not coming forth. He's not being forthwith about.
Sir, forgive me, but if you are so sure that you have won in this and that the story you tell us is correct, you have no need to feel nervous or conceal anything from us. If this is the truth and you believe it to be legally binding, then it does not damage you to tell us the truth, that we might see how to best support Louisa in all of this.
Roll me a charm roll. Let's see.
Let's see.
Or charm or persuade, whichever one you like is best.
Well, I've clicked on my charm and I
Okay.
have failed
Oh.
with 52 over 15. I could
Okay.
push it. Like, maybe
Would
I'll
you
do
like?
that.
Would you like to try?
Why not at this point? So do I just
And-
get to re-roll it?
So you re-roll it, but also tell me, how would you like to push it? What are you doing that's going to allow you
You
that
think?
extra?
She's kind of like, she's not flirting a little bit, but she's kind of putting on this like fake playing dumb, sort of playing up to his like assumptions of women. So as she's sort of asking this and talking about supporting his sister, she just looks very concerned. And for a moment, maybe he's not sure if I am trying to manipulate him or if I just don't understand. You know, I've never been into one of these establishments myself, of course, and I'm just worried about Louisa and all of this. And she just kind of
So
like bats her eyelids a
playing
little
up
bit.
okay, so playing up a little bit of the coquettishness, flirting with the eyes, but still trying to be very concerned. Okay, yep, I'll allow it. So go ahead.
Do persuade.
Yeah, but I have to reroll the same one, shouldn't I?
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
You should have done persuade.
Yeah, I should have. Well, that didn't work either.
Use all your luck.
Okay. So you try to utilize your little bit of feminine wiles to see what else can happen, and it doesn't either isn't enough, or maybe it doesn't seem to appeal to him. He kind of puts the hand down, and you feel he seems like he's about to stand up. Kind of puts his hand. Well, if there's nothing else, and he begins to rise from the chair.
I have one more question, Sir Devlin. Who is DF?
DF. He pauses and turns and looks. DF. Now, where would you have come across DF?
Oh, a woman must have some secrets, Sir Devlin.
DF. Well, if you got that information from something of Henry's, which I would like to think a woman in your position would have not known directly. But if you must know, DF refers to Darren Fife. He is the, shall we say, establishment owner of the Graves Hotel, where we were playing cards, where we do play cards on a regular basis. If Henry left behind something of DF, it is more than likely there that you will find your answer.
Ruth is just trying to swallow back rage at this point, and she can barely bring herself to nod to him.
A rather disreputable place. I'm sure ladies of your standing would not be seen there, nor yours, Mr. Fergusson. But perhaps your captain may be familiar with the place? Come now, Captain, don't be shy. We men know what...
No, my silence was not of shyness. I just don't like speaking to detestable, disgusting men.
The smile drops from his face completely. His eyes go very hard. Yes.
I'm sorry, sir. Did you not like my truth? I didn't much appreciate yours either.
That is true. Hard truths are part of this world. And I just was rather surprised to hear it in front of the ladies here. But as you
Forgive
were,
me, ladies,
you are
I did not mean to offend you.
No, you have been by far the least offensive man in this room.
I quite agree.
Well, if there is nothing further, I do believe that you have your answer. Or is there anything else I can, as he once again looks at Penelope, is there anything else that I could assist you with?
I'm certain there is nothing you could assist me with. Shall we be about our business?
I'll hold out my arm for you.
I'll take it.
I'll offer my arm to Ruth as well.
And she will take your arm.
Mr.
And we shall
Fergusson.
depart. Oh, sorry.
Mr. Fergusson doesn't have an arm.
don't have an arm.
no.
Mr. Fergusson will be the last to leave the room. Will again bow slightly too deeply. Just look up and say, "Your painting, sir. Remember the true meaning of revolutions. That God shall judge all of us, and that those, like yourself, shall come undone," and turns with a swish of his coat and leaves.
Mr. Fergusson, before you go, if you are truly seeking Henry, and he turns and goes into another room for just a moment and then returns with a piece of paper in his hand, perhaps this may help you.
This is This is uncharacteristically generous of you, sir. And Mr. Fergusson takes the piece of paper. Do not think
It is not. Oh, go ahead.
Do not think for one moment that your assisting in us by any mean vindicates your agreement with Mr. Millwood. It is still most reprehensible. But I thank you for this paper. I believe I do. I look at it, see whether I actually do thank him for it.
Just. No. That's enough. I received that just recently. May it help you in your endeavors. And then he turns quite sharply on his heel and walks back out of the room. And the head butler, who has appeared quite quickly and quite silently, shuts the doors behind him and then indicates for you to the other direction out the room, probably towards the front door.
Leaving out, I pop my hat back on as I exit the door and approach the others of my party. Sir Devlin received this missive, I believe, and I open up the piece of paper to see what is upon it. I am loading up Roll20.
Yeah. It's also in the Discord for folks to read.
We know about your debauched little secret. You might even call it treasonous. But there is a way out. Escort Mr. Millwood to the Graves Hotel on Wednesday evening. A carriage will collect him from outside the venue at 2 a.m. Ensure that he is amenable to our approach, and we will keep your confidence. So Mr. Millwood was escorted to his fate by Sir Devlin, who, it appears, was blackmailed. A debauched little secret.
If I were a gentleman, I would call him out on the field of honor.
Would you like me to go back inside and do that?
Oh, do, please.
Perhaps on a later date when we've resolved things a little more for Louisa. But otherwise, yes, and do invite me.
Absolutely. I
Yes.
should definitely wait. You're very wise.
Would you
Yes,
be in
you're
one
very
for seconds?
wise, Penelope. Forgive me, my temper got the better of me for a moment.
No, I quite understand.
But don't worry, I do like an audience, so I'll contact you both when it happens.
I shall look
Excellent.
forward to it.
I would like everyone to give me a spot hidden roll, please.
79 over 25. That is a nice failure.
Yes, it's the over
91 over
25.
25.
Oh, you know nothing.
Also spot hidden. All she can see at the moment is red, I think.
Okay. So then we will keep going. Okay. So you have come out of Inglemere house, and the carriage awaits you. And I'm assuming everyone gathers in.
Where to now? The graves?
I feel graves is
I
a
suppose.
sensible location to visit.
Now, ladies, I don't expect you to accompany us. Of course, there are ways around this.
Such as the thing is, I would very much, and I trust you should all forgive me this and not spread word of it beyond these four walls of this carriage. I should quite like to be involved in the investigations in some way or other. But of course, the one law my mother imposed on me when I left to seek my career was that I not completely derail my reputation.
Well,
So-
there are ways around that by certain methods of disguising yourself.
Yes, perhaps it doesn't have to be you who enters this house of sin and
Perhaps,
debauchery.
Do you think that would work?
Perhaps Anthony Greggs.
I would suggest perhaps two very well-dressed, flashily dressed women with a certain, I mean, it pains me to suggest it, but perhaps a certain immodesty in dress may well even lend the gentleman a certain air of acceptance.
Perhaps. And that might be less easily seen through than trying to pass ourselves off as men.
You'd be amazed how easy it could be.
My offshore was of my cleric's cloak and hat, but I feel this would not be quite up to the task. If you're trying to enter a den of ill repute, surely nobody would attract more attention than a man of the cloth.
Well,
Yes.
maybe they have some very specialized interests.
I do remember once a tale of the Bishop of Claxton, I believe is rather a fan of the ladies, as it were, but surely we do not emanate somebody such as him. His doom will come to him one day, I'm sure.
If you also wish to protect your reputation, perhaps you could also form some sort of disguise.
Well, I
Although
suppose,
perhaps not one with rouge and a low neck dress. I think
No.
that would be a little too far.
I suppose one could divest of one's clerical garb and enter in a slightly more roughshod way.
Quite.
Well, so specifically, what is everyone's plan?
Well, depending on how you all want to dress, I can't help an awful lot, but I might have some things that could work.
Very well. Shall we return to the hotel to change and divest ourselves of certain priestly garments and head to the graves in disguise?
Splendid idea.
I feel Mr. Fergusson, has a great fondness for his ceremonial robes, as they add a little pomp and circumstance to his profession. So I feel he probably wouldn't want to divest himself necessarily of these robes. However, he is definitely more amenable to trying to play the part of the fallen vicar who has lost the way of God, and taking some inspiration from Sir Devlin, I feel maybe would maintain his clerical outward appearance.
Theo starts telling him about this, like all of these various men of the church who they've bumped into and all the stories that they tell.
Surely you must be referring to the same person. There cannot be more than one member of the clergy. I thought the Bishop of Claxton was bad enough, but these are, well...
I assure you, sir, there are. In fact, I think you might be one of the few who isn't of that mindset.
Well, if it's good enough for some of these distinguished gentlemen that you have mentioned, I do not see the harm in taking a small acting role, as it were, as long as I make sure I make my repentance to the Lord this evening.
Right. So we go back to the hotel?
Okay. So you head back, all of you head back to the Crescent Hotel. And I'm guessing that the captain digs through your trunk and finds a couple of pieces from maybe from sailors or other things that you would have in place to offer your compatriots here.
I'm assuming you will come to my room with me for some reason.
We have
Yeah,
chaperones.
so
It's fine.
I'll start searching through, and I'll pull out like this really gorgeous red dress that's got like lots of ruffles. It's very low cut. It's got a slit up the side that looks like it wasn't part of the dress. It's definitely been added in. I have you see there's far too many corsets in there. Plenty of various sort of outlandish men's clothes. And a few more slightly not as risque as the red dress, but definitely not as prim and proper, as well as some other quite nice fashionable dresses.
I see.
Captain, you seem to have an awful lot of women's clothing.
Yes.
Well, you know what they say about sailors. They have a woman in every port, as it were. Surely these are the accoutrements
Yes,
of
I've
your...
had a woman in my bed every night.
Such scandal, sir.
Perhaps not of the kind that you're thinking. Which would you prefer?
Oh, please, you choose first. If I may, I think I'll call the maid and ask her to run a small errand. I think we're going to need some paint. A flushed cheek would certainly be appropriate, don't you think? Little
I
rouge.
slipped through another bit, and I pull out a load of makeup.
Captain, you are full of surprises.
I
You
have
really
many
are.
surprises. Well, I can do
Oh.
your hair for you as well, if you like.
If you are confident that you possess the skill to do so, then absolutely, by all means.
I feel I am surplus to requirements here. I may take a small stroll along the crescent and perhaps ask around for Mr. Millwood while you accoutrement yourselves.
And do say a prayer for us on your way, Mr. Fergusson. I think we're going to need it.
There's a distinct blush in his cheek as he leaves the suite.
So at this point, we will follow Mr. Fergusson as he heads through the crescent and the various locations therein, while the ladies and work with the captain to put themselves together. Mr. Fergusson.
So opposite the crescent, I know, is the pump rooms, and I wonder whether taking a stroll along the curve of the crescent and ending up in the pump rooms to take the waters might just help to clear his head a little as well. But also, it's a social area. It's the sort of place that gossip is spread. So maybe somebody will have heard. But I'm going to keep my eyes out for anything that looks a little suspicious or odd.
Yes. Okay. So at this point, it's later in the afternoon, and it will be heading, by the time everyone is probably put together, we'll be heading into the evening, which would be, as all of you realize, would be perfect to actually head to the Graves Hotel, as gambling is generally done in the evenings, at least in the card room there at the Crescent. It doesn't even start till 8, till after dinner. You're pretty sure the Graves Hotel is probably, with its reputation, probably has gambling most of the day and into the evening. So, Mr. Fergusson, you head across to to see what you could find from the baths and whatnot. So, let's see if I can get to the appropriate page, because yes. As you wander through the Crescent, you pass the exhibition of Roman artifacts, and you stop just to kind of take a quick look, because you do, and because I say you do. And while you're there, I can find the appropriate. You'll stop and look at a set of coins that is being shown. Eight. You are going to see. Come on, computer, work with me there. Thank you. You're going to see that.
Oh, fantastic. Now, Mr. Fergusson has a little bit of experience with archaeology. He has obviously experienced or read around some of the history of his own parish, and being in Manchester, there's a fair amount of interesting Iron Age and Bronze Age stuff that's been unearthed. So Roman is definitely within his wheelhouse of interest, and he picks up the flyer that he received here. It's entitled Buxton's Roman Heritage. Did you know that Buxton was once the site of a Roman settlement called Aquae Animatiae? Fancy all those people standing around in togas in downtown Buxton. Historians have uncovered a fort, exercise hall, market bathhouse, and temple in the area. At the temple, Romans and Celts tossed coins into the spring to seek the blessing of the goddess Artemisia. In our modern century, Buxton's healing waters provide respite for the common maladies such as gout, rheumatism, or migraine. There's no need to throw your coins away. Simply purchase entrance to the bathhouse to experience the wondrous waters for yourself. See the hotel concierge for a list of our recommended medicinal bathing regimes, or buy a bottle of Buxton's healing water. Only a penny. And there's a lovely drawing of a coin found in Buxton with the head of the Emperor Hadrian on this flyer as well. Well, it's definitely interesting. And after the experience with Sir Devlin, I feel maybe taking some water as a quick sip would help to calm the humours that have boiled my blood today.
The coins that you see that were near this flyer all seem to resemble that. You recognize that the coin that you're seeing on the flyer and the coins that you're seeing in person, the coins in person seem to have they seem to probably have either been in water or had, or near some type of moisture. They look like they have had water damage to them, the best that you can tell. You don't know how, but if what this is telling you is correct, then it probably comes from one of the springs that they were probably thrown in.
Excellent.
But beyond that, with the artifacts, there is a stone altar that you notice. It's quite large. It's a little hard to miss, and it's the Latin the engraved Latin in it that, of course, catches your eye because, as being part of the clergy, Latin is an absolute requirement in this day and age. What is your? You have Latin, I do believe.
Latin for 60 in Latin.
So for you, no roll is even needed. You can immediately translate the text. And it says, in honor of the goddess Artemisia, who blessed Quintus after his offering of a golden head.
Golden head, Quintus. The fifth son, perchance? Golden head. Well, that sounds rather prophetic, doesn't it? What are the coins made of?
The coins are gold.
Coins are gold. And with the head of Emperor Hadrian on, it sounds like Quintus made a rather generous donation to the church. And he chuckles to himself and realizes there's nobody around to hear his rather witty, not particularly witty at all, remark. He shyly continues to look at the coins again, arms behind the back, leaning in quite close to inspect them.
And as you turn to look between the coins and the altar, what catches your eye off to one side is a large marble sculpture of a beautiful woman, and underneath the little plaque states that this is a statue of Artemisia herself, of the goddess. She stands with her hands outstretched, looking upward, her head crowned with flowers. She holds a coin in each palm, though the sculpture, you can't really tell what type of coin or anything, but there are, you can tell from the raised and what detail is there that they are coins.
Is there anybody around who seems to be curating or in charge of the exhibit here, or is it it's a few artifacts in a cabinet while everybody else is bustling around in the baths and the pump room?
Yeah, it's just kind of a small side room.
Yep.
In fact, they have the mirrors that seem to mimic the effect of windows reflecting kind of daylight. It's meant to look like one of the side rooms, maybe at a church, in its kind of design, but it's really just a simple side room at its base. It kind of feels hazy, and there's really nobody else around. It's just you.
Mr. Fergusson makes a mental note to compare Miss Millwood to the goddess Armenitia when he next sees her, thinking this might help his suit, which is sort of building up at the moment. But yes, it's taking some time in the exhibit, just soaking in the atmosphere. I think he's going to take his leave of the room and head into the pump house proper to see whether there is anybody there he can ask about Mr. Millwood as well.
So you leave the room with the Roman artifacts, and you nearly bump into an elderly gentleman with a rather nasty cough, and he mumbles, pleasantries and excuse me, and he continues on. You realize that there is a sign that states that in the direction the gentleman is moving is the direction to the bathhouses.
I think following that sign, although if the cough sounded particularly nasty, with a flounce and a handkerchief in front of one's mouth so that one does not catch whatever this poor gentleman may have, I do, of course, feel for him, but one must maintain one's pipes and voice for the sermons that one must give, especially as we are coming up to Easter. And the 10 o'clock Mass at St. John the Baptist is a fine example of a good sermon to give. In fact, may I add that my esteemed patroness, Lady Bagtonbury, once commented upon the aplomb that I presented the liturgy at Eastertide last year. It is such a shame that she had to visit relatives, otherwise I would be there presenting to her again, but one must be when one is needed. He mulls this over in his head.
Okay. And you follow the gentleman, though, at a few steps back with a little bit of a covering over your mouth because he does cough rather fully. And you can tell that whatever is going on, there's definitely, it's not a dry cough entirely. So you follow him into the bathhouse. There are those that are helping. They are in white, almost like cloaks with a little bit of a coat. And they are directing people as they come in, finding out what their maladies seems to be, and then directing them into various locations. You overhear that there are both public bathhouses that everyone may take part of, men and on one side, women on the other. And then there are the private bathhouses that can be rented for a small bit of coin. There are if they wish to drink of the waters, again, that can be very easily provided.
I think given the time frame and the fact that there are more deserving people whose maladies are much worse than my slight discomfort and slight discomfort at the recent confrontation we had at Inglemere House, I feel just taking the waters should be fine, but I will take a coin, take my coin purse out of my pocket and pull out a penny to the gentleman with the cough and say, "Dear sir, your malady," with the handkerchief over his mouth, "your malady itself does seem rather severe. Please accept this gift from me and my esteemed patroness, Lady Bagtonbury, hoping that you may be able to afford a treatment to cure you of your ailment." And he dips off towards the line to drink of the waters.
You put the coin in the gentleman's hand and don't really stick around to see his reaction. Uh, so you're not entirely sure whether he was appreciative or offended by your generosity, but he does see the collar. So he is polite and does not say anything as you walk away. You go find a spot nearby where they are providing small, very genteel glasses of a rather strong smelling water. You're pretty sure that this is coming from the spring that is well known. And you see people find a seat and they sit and they sip from the water and they seem to, their eyes seem to almost glaze over. And we will get back to you in just a few minutes. The rest of you, going back to our ladies and the captain in the room, you are all getting dressed. Captain, there is a knock at your door.
I'll sort of open it just so that they can see me, but not so that they can see any of the others.
There is, it looks like one of the workers at the well-dressed workers at the hotel, and they, for you, it just came and hands you an envelope with your name very, very beautifully written on the envelope.
I'll take the envelope and press a coin into his hand.
Thank you, sir. And he takes off.
I will read said letter.
Okay. So you open up the, I'm sure I've got the right one here. You open up the envelope and within, share that. And then I'm going to put it in the Discord. You pull out a rather beautifully written invitation with the gold leaf stamp at the top.
Boston Ladies Horticulture Society cordially invites you to the annual Spring Ball, Sunday, 18th of April, 1813. Entry by invitation only. Very nice. I'm sure you'll have some waiting for
Yes,
you.
of course. But perhaps now is not the time to be waltzing through the hotel to check.
No. If you left it to me to pick the dresses for you, which I think was suggested, Wraith is in the red dress, as previously described. Penelope is in a mid, almost too long, like it's got a bit of a trail that you have to hike up a bit, and it's off the shoulder and it's ruffled all the way around the front. And it's got sort of, not gems, but it's got like beading to almost look like stars on it. And at like every point that like the dress was selected, any like hair or makeup that I am now apparently doing, there was a check at every point, like to make sure that you're happy with this and comfortable with this. Are there any alterations that we need to make? Do you feel too revealed? Do you want more revealed? At like every step.
Art, craft, haberdashery, I think that role is.
Well, fashion is a Regency skill,
yes,
of
it is
course,
actually, yes.
knowing what is appropriate for the time and place. Now, I think that Ruth is going to certainly play up her Caribbean heritage and look unconsciously what would have been thought of as very exotic at the time. And so I think she's going to pull a few tendrils of her hair free, her hair obviously being afro textured. And she's going to wear a big turban rather than do her hair up in a more conventional style, but with bits of her hair running free, as I said, and lots and lots of rouge. She feels very uncomfortable, but she remembers, she thinks, how courtesans dressed back in the Caribbean, so she's going to try and emulate them as much as she can.
Okay. So
Penelope
all
very
of
clearly has no idea what she's
Okay.
doing, but she seems very unfazed by it.
so let's do some fashion checks just to see. Now, of course, you're not going for the latest fashions from Paris, but you are trying to dress down out of your comfort zones, because how you are doing this is not what appropriate gentlewoman, certainly in the Ton, would dare look like. It's certainly in any kind of public setting.
Right.
Fashion.
Oh, that's a
Ah.
failure of a fashion check for me.
Oh, no.
48 against 10.
Oh,
I'm just too
I-
respectable for my own good. I don't know how to be
I
scandalous.
had a success, so I'm good.
an
I'm going to
Oh,
spend
dream
one
success.
luck so
brilliant.
that I also have a success.
Okay.
I
So
think
with
I've got
the help
too much of a fail to spend.
with I'll say this, with the help of the captains and captain's expertise on multiple levels, whatever you try to do, which does not seem to work no matter what, and you cannot seem to get comfortable with what you're trying to portray, the image you're trying to put forth, the captain assists to with the limited resources at their disposal. They do their best. It's very uncomfortable. You look like the women that were whispered about in very quiet corners at events, behind fans and other in other cases, the ones you've always heard the rumors and the maybe of a story or two accidentally overhearing of the absolute not to be. You feel like all you can think of is you look like a prostitute, and this is awful. And if anybody ever recognizes you, it's all over with your reputation. So the captain assures you that's just about what it should be. You're right about where you need to be on that. Okay.
While I'm doing your makeup, I'll ask for your views and thoughts on how you feel in freedom and how women's things, what your views are on things.
Well, you get the sense that Penelope is a young woman who is determined to make a career for herself as a writer, and she has no intention to marry. And she looks like she really enjoys how kind of scandalous this is, and how much of a fit her mother would have if she knew this was what Penelope was doing with her evenings.
And then we'll subtly try and slide in. Sorry.
To the Regency DM.
To find out whether or where she sits on the scale of men to women attraction.
I don't know how you're going about that. I think you might get a sense that Penelope has no clue. Like,
enough.
Penelope has never, I think, felt a romantic interest or pull to anyone. But that may be because she has only ever been pushed towards men.
I'll keep that in mind.
And while the two of you discuss your various views, Ruth, would you please give me an idea check, please?
I can indeed. Ruth has got 70 in intelligence, so quite a good brain on her, although 83 against 70. I think her outfit is messing with her head a little bit. She's not thinking entirely straight. So that's a fail, I'm afraid.
Okay. Well, I am going to put forth. There's something about that invitation that is tickling something in the back of your brain, though you are not sure why. But there's something about that. There's something on that invitation that is like feels familiar. And we will leave that for the moment while you think. And we will go back to our clergyman, Mr. Fergusson. You are next in line to be able to obtain a bit of the waters, the healing waters, there at the bath.
Have I overheard anything particularly interesting while I'm queuing? I imagine I've kept my ears open to.
There is discussion of the spring ball coming up on Sunday evening. Excuse me. There is something that kind of catches your ear. There's been a discussion amongst several. Excuse me. There's a discussion amongst a small group of older women talking about how their gardens have just seemingly over the last couple of days just seem to have gone from where the flowers were starting to grow and spring was starting to show its beautiful self. Everything seems to have, the flowers have wilted. The leaves are turning brown and getting very dry. It just, they're at a loss. They don't know at first that, why the vibrant colors of the town gardens fit looking a lot duller than is unusual. The sky is becoming a bit more overcast, and it just feels, the town feels a lot more gloomy than it should this time of year.
Mr. Fergusson's first thoughts go to the plagues of Egypt, but feels that is probably a little bit overzealous in his thoughts. And as he has passed the cup of water as he's next in the line, he sips it and thinks, maybe why would the Lord be punishing these people with poor harvests at a time of rebirth? Has the weather been particularly foul? Has it been particularly hot or too wet or too dry? Is there anything particularly, because he's been here a few days, anything that has he's noticed?
And as your mind kind of brings these questions about, and you realize that, yes, the flower beds around the church have, yes, actually, you didn't really think much about it, but these women seem to be onto something. And you sip the waters, and the cold room's walls expand out into darkness around you. As you turn your head, and you look back at the door from where you came into the area, it becomes less of a doorway and more of a faint gold rectangle that seems to go on into the distance. You see vines and moss emerge in where you're inside, but you feels like it's outside, and you look down at your feet and you see green as if you were in a garden. A sickly green light seems to tint the darkened space, and it seems to swell and fade to the rhythm of distant pipes and drums, almost as it's breathing and moving with life. Give me a medicine roll, please.
Medicine roll. I thought you were going to ask for a sanity roll for a second.
I know.
That is a failure of 49 over 41. However, I'm happy to spend the 8 points of luck to make that a success.
Okay. So as these visions seem to swirl and around you, you believe that the waters are having a similar effect to something that you studied when you studied a bit of medicine. There was talk of these medicinal properties that caused hallucinations. And this feels something similar to what you read about. Now, I would like for you to make me a POW roll.
That is a 42 over 40. For storytelling purposes, let's let that failure ride.
Okay. That works. You, even though there's that part of your mind, that part of your consciousness that kind of holds that kernel of, seems like this, it's like that thing that I read. The rest of you, almost every pore, every nerve ending is saying, no, this feels real. This is my reality. Inside, it's dark and yet light, and the breath of the light going in and out, and the greenery. I can feel and hear it creeping under my feet. Now, please make me a sanity roll.
Fantastic. That is a 20 under 40, a regular, a hard success.
Okay. So you continue. Your vision is consumed by what has become an underground grove appearing from the darkness. The lush foliage tumbles from an ancient ruin. A bulbous tree grows on an island in the center of a cavernous pool. Nestled in the roots of the tree is a rough stone altar, dried blood visible in the cracks of the hewn rock. A beautiful woman walks across the water to meet you. Her aquamarine hair shimmers under a crown of flowers. Her dress is that of liquid silk in the style of the ancient Romans, titillatingly tied with a gold rope. She gestures to the pool, an eerie glittering sparkling through the green water. As you look closer, you see that the pool is filled with gold coins. The woman opens her hands before you, and a single ancient gold coin is there in each palm. The profile of a Roman emperor reflected in the unearthly light. Her ethereal voice echoes off of the cave walls. She looks into your eyes. Tribute to me a man's head, and you shall receive my blessing. Coins begin to fall from her hands, drowning you in a waterfall of gold. And then your eyes snap open at the sound of rough, wet coughing off to your right, brings you back into the bathhouse. And someone, excuse me, as the old man that you followed in brushes past you, and the area is now crowded with more tourists. And we will leave you there and return back to the Crescent in the hotel rooms. Ladies and Captain, you are completely dressed at this point, as best as you figure that you can be. What are you doing next?
Ruth has been studying this in her head over and over again. She's thinking back to that journal entry and just trying to think, is there anything that they've missed? Is there anything that they've forgotten? And she remembers that it seemed that Henry was trying to get Louisa out of this awful bet that he had made. If she was married to somebody else, then surely Sir Devlin couldn't or wouldn't try and claim his prize. And she's thinking, maybe the ball, that's what it said in the journal entry, this spring ball that was going to take place. He was going to try and matchmake there. She doesn't know why she's thinking that. It's just something that she puts a mental note down and thinks they have to remember this next week when the ball takes place.
Okay.
Question
You realize-
for those who know more Regency than me. If I've already been invited to a ball, is it then customary to them, like if I was invited verbally, would I then receive a paper invitation?
Probably just to be like proper and confirm it.
I thought so.
Yeah.
And again, proof that you have been invited as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they would just like have a list of people they'd invite. Check your name off on the register, But no.
They loved a letter.
They loved a letter.
They loved official documents.
You'd hand it to the
Name's not
master.
down, Mr. Darcy, you're not coming in.
Master of ceremonies, he's the doorkeeper.
Are those trainers?
So at this point, Mr. Fergusson has not yet returned. And the day is slipping away and getting onwards towards dinner time.
Well, do you suppose we ought to make our way? If
Under
we
cover
should
of
probably find
darkness.
Mr. Fergusson.
Yes, preferably under cover of darkness. And
Yes.
a hooded cloak until we reach our destination. I think I'd feel much more comfortable.
I had like one cloak and then one like very big coat.
Thank you, Captain.
Yes, thank you. You've been very
He-
kind.
You wouldn't have any clue as to where Mr. Fergusson might have found himself?
If you look out of the window, I'm sure you can see him stumbling out of the pump room directly in front of the crescent.
Oh, there he is. I'm sure he'll be here directly.
Well,
Shall we go down and meet him? Or did we want to meet here and plan? What is are we just walking in and asking questions is sort of how I assumed it would go.
I believe so. So we're looking for a Darren Fife and any knowledge he may have on the Henry situation. I'm sure a man such as yourself can have no trouble making friends and finding clues in such an establishment. I don't mean that as an insult, rather as a compliment.
Yes, a man such as myself. Absolutely.
Sir
And
Devlin
it's
said that this.
sort of feminine art. Strange. And I'd put my coat on.
Sir Devlin said that this Darren Fife was the owner. Was that right? The owner of Graves Hotel. Or the manager, perhaps?
The owner of I have heard that there's a gang boss. Perhaps they are one and the same.
Hmm. I'm sure we
That
shall
does sound
find out.
rather dangerous. Quite like something Henry might be caught up in.
It does indeed.
Do you think we ought to take some form of protection with us?
Now, yes. Do you not have anything?
Well, it is not quite proper for ladies to walk around armed.
Yes, well, that never.
Well,
How many weapons am I allowed to have in my room to hand out?
I have a very stout umbrella, which does 1d6 damage. somehow.
Very nice.
You have what is on your character sheet.
Nice.
Yes, I should,
Make sure
I
you
should
equip
take
with
my
Amazon
umbrella.
character sheet.
Nice. I have a rapier.
Nice.
All right.
And
The Mr. Fergusson, you make it back up to the door at this point.
Knocking on the
and
door.
I will open.
Captain,
I'll let you in.
Captain Trumpeter, I must say, I've had the most wonderful afternoon.
Are you
Are you drunk, man?
I did drink of the waters, but no. Remember, Matthew 13:49. So it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come out and separate the evil from the righteous.
As he's reciting to me, I'm going to be leading him towards, I'm assuming, a basin of some sort in my room. And I will let you finish speaking, and then I'm shoving your face in water.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry, my good captain. I'm not quite sure what came over me. I seem to be soggy. I do apologize, ladies. And he glances over and sees the ladies for the first time in their new attire. And does a bit of a double take. I say, Trumpeter, awfully lucky you having those dresses in your case, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Ah, well, good man.
very lucky
Good,
indeed?
good man. And pats you on the back. But
Are you feeling quite well, Mr. Fergusson?
I drank of the waters and I saw, well, what I can only describe as an angel. She was there.
Perhaps we should all drink of these waters.
I would highly recommend it. I feel that my melancholic air from talking to to that horrible man earlier has quite lifted. My spirit flows high. If only I had 1,000 tongues to sing the glory of my Lord. But it was... Do you know of the Romans? Their Parthenon of gods and goddesses. There's a rather interesting exhibit down in the pump house at the moment. I highly recommend it if you're of that sort of bent. My dear patroness, Lady Bagdenbury, has a particular interest in the Celtic and the Roman. In fact, has a small collection of artifacts as well. These artifacts, of course, not quite as dramatic, but much more local. And they have a goddess here. A goddess whose name eludes me at the moment. I will quickly look at this flyer that I have upon my personage so that I can remind myself of the name of the goddess. He said as he tries to fish around in his jacket, trying to find said flyer of... There it is. Arnemesia. But it's the funniest thing is I drank of the waters and I could almost see her myself. I'm sure it must have been because I saw her statue, but standing there in the waters holding 2 gold coins. But it's what she said. She wanted the offering. She wanted a sacrifice of a man's head. I'd be careful, Trumpeter. You and we should watch our heads. We don't want to be caught out at all, do we, what?
Quite.
Are you quite sure it was the waters you drank that induced this vision and not perhaps another beverage offered to you?
Oh no, I'm most teetotal. I follow in the wake of Wesley himself and a lot of the Quaker brethren. Not a Quaker myself, but those of a self-deprivation. You know, it's a particular way of keeping the spirit clean and so forth. But I do wonder what was in that water. They say the saints had visions. Am I a saint?
Well, perhaps we can ponder on whether you're a saint after we've figured out what's going on here.
Yes, and then perhaps a visit to the waters may be useful if
We should all partake in.
or perhaps not if there is something odd going on. I mean, it's quite a large attraction for the area. might be worth writing a piece about, and if there's some sort of corruption going on, particularly. But I suppose we ought to stick to the matter at hand first.
Yes, perhaps tomorrow. I suspect we may be in need of feeling a little more invigorated after today's events.
Quite.
I feel we should go and pay a visit to Gray's. Yes. Onward. We
Onward?
go.
Onward.
As it is now heading towards evening and the sky is beginning to darken, and people will be heading into establishments for food and drink for the supper time. How are you headed from the hotel room? How are you heading to the Graves Hotel?
How far away is it?
It's a little bit of a distance. You could walk it. It would take a bit of time. Otherwise, you could attempt a carriage.
I suggest that we walk to a nearby pub, get a carriage from there to another pub near the graves, and then walk to the graves from there.
I must say, a walk would definitely help to clear my head a little.
Yes. I think arriving in a carriage would perhaps make the sort of splash that we want if we are supposed to be bon viveurs and ladies of negotiable virtue. Certainly, a few stops off at a public house on the way would add to that effect.
Very true.
Perhaps bringing a bottle of champagne with us in the carriage as we arrive.
That's an excellent idea. Might perhaps sweeten men to speak a little more freely.
Yes.
I feel Mr. Fergusson probably won't need any imbibement of alcoholic drinks to appear a little tipsy after his experience earlier.
Are you headed down through the main thoroughfares to get to the carriage, or are you potentially looking to be a little bit more surreptitious to possibly try to avoid being seen as much as possible?
I think that would be sensible if we were to stay kind of hidden as much as we can while we're around people who might know who we really are.
Yeah.
And know, the footmen and the people who work in the hotel are going to see us. So if we keep our hoods up and then we only sort of reveal ourselves in disguise once we're away from there, probably be the best idea, I would think.
Okay.
I will say, walking out of the hotel, I'm probably not disguised, but I don't think it's an uncommon sight for them.
No, you're a sailor, having two glamorous courtesans is pretty much par for the course, I would think, for you, isn't it? Really?
And I think Mr.
Your
Fergusson...
reputation goes up.
I think Mr. Fergusson is too unaware of the current situation to actually pay heed to reputation. So we'll just stagger out of the hotel looking slightly worse for wear. Tongues will wag, but...
Okay.
Bless him.
I feel like there should be a role here, but I want this to succeed. So, not really being stealthy, charming, disguise.
Reputation?
We really haven't. And acting. You know what? Yeah, let's throw a reputation role in there. We haven't had one yet, so let's do that. Just out of curiosity, let's make sure nobody truly fumbles. And
my precious reputation.
Oh, I failed badly.
93 over 50.
Oh, I failed slightly.
88 over 45.
I failed 67 against 55. Am I the most respectable one here?
Yes.
Apart from the vicar.
Somehow.
No, I'm only 50.
Somehow. Oh, okay. Yep, I'm 55. I hang out with politicians. I have a good name.
Okay. Well, the only one I'm going to address, because it's my prerogative. As you are playing up your roles and heading out, though, even with your avoiding as many of the main areas of the hotel and the space as possible, in even ducking into the room with the artifacts briefly, and you see quickly what the good clergyman was mentioning. You see the pile of coins, you see the altar, and you see the statue of the goddess. As you are heading out, unfortunately, our good clergyman bumps into one of his parishioners. Uh, oh dear! Oh, um, Mr. Fergusson.
Oh, yeah, it's you, isn't it? Awfully pleasant to see you. I do give my regards to Mrs. You. I'm awfully sorry. The name eludes me at the moment. I'm awfully sorry.
Are you okay, Mr. Fergusson? Do you need assistance?
It's just something I drank. Don't worry. It's just disagreed with me a little. You know how it is.
Well, perhaps some time at the bath would help.
A capital idea, but don't forget to meet. Don't forget, I will see you on Sunday. I am preaching a most intense sermon on the virtues of sobriety and clean living. I'm sure you will be most agreeable to it as well. Now, I
yes.
must away. I'm off to a gambling house, but keep that stumm.
And you turn and kind of stumble a little bit and head away as the couple, hell, oh my. And you're pretty sure your reputation is going to take a couple of points of a hit on that. And it's going to make your time at that St. John's very interesting going forward.
How much reputation would you like me to lose?
Oh, let's do a D4 for fun. Because yes. Where's gonna get my right screen up here. See if if I can get this to actually work. We'll do a D4.
Oh, only one.
Did that come across? Okay.
It
good.
did, yep.
Okay, so yeah, you take 1 point of hit, 1 point hit to your reputation. There will probably be some rumors and a little bit of tiddling about what they've come across, but with the events coming up, like with the big spring ball and everything else, you're hoping that it blows over very quickly and that maybe something else happens over the weekend that will basically overshadow that very quickly. And you head out and are able to obtain the use of a carriage, and you head off into the evening. You bounce off, you head to one pub farther into town and slip into a different carriage. Is anybody doing anything until during these handoffs before you get to the Graves Hotel?
Pick up a bottle of champagne as suggested, I think.
Yep. And then when we arrive, we can be all sort of, yay, we're partying, yay.
I'll be like seeing what boundaries you guys have, seeing how far you want to take this ploy, seeing how much you know about the way that you should act, and generally prepping you.
Nice.
Be like, if I throw my arm around you, is that fine? How much contact am I allowed? I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
So you lay out the boundaries and the ground rules, and the captain is very forthcoming in what to maybe some things that you should expect in such a establishment. Some of the things you may see. So to sell the visage that you have put on try not to look shocked is the big one. Because the more shocked you looked, the easier it will be to give yourself away as not being what you are attempting to appear. It's the blush in your cheeks burns hot, ladies, and you try to get yourself under control a bit going forward as the final carriage comes to a stop in front of the Graves Hotel. It is a long, lonely stretch of road that leads up to the hotel with only a single red light to actually let you know that you are there in front of it. But you hear the loud noises from within, and that speaks volumes, especially every bit the body den of iniquity that you have heard through rumors and quiet whispers at various events. The smell of piss lingers in the air as a red-faced gentleman you notice is using the back wall as a toilet to avoid the queue to the outhouse, not too far off from the entrance. This is definitely not a place for young women. You have disguised yourself as well as you believe you can, but being spotted in this den of ill repute is probably going to, if you are noticed, it is going to hurt your reputation badly. All right. What
We'll
do you
watch
do?
out for each other, Penelope.
Absolutely.
I would expect that some of the men here may need persuasion to take no for an answer. What do you think we should do to say that we're spoken for the evening?
Well, we do have two gentlemen accompanying us.
Yes,
So
yes,
I think that is quite an easy excuse to make, should the situation call for it.
yes, I agree. Yes, we have
And-
patrons for the night.
There you
Yes.
go.
Very
And
well.
if you get my attention, I'll simply fight them off, I suppose.
Perfect.
Mr. Fergusson, I suppose the Scarlet Woman is somewhat in your purview as a clergyman?
Well, Mary Magdalene was indeed virtuous, so I fear that if this is the role that we are playing tonight, then take my arm, and I shall be your shepherd.
Indeed, sir.
All
And
of you,
he will
please make
take his
me.
arm.
Okay. As you stand there, the gentleman finishes up his business against the wall and stumbles back over to the door. He pounds heavily on the door, and a little slit within the door slides open. All of you make me listen checks, please.
53 over 50, failure.
Why can't I find listen? It's right at the top of the second one.
Hard success.
Oh,
Winning.
excellent.
I'm a fail, 49
I
against
made a
20.
massive fail.
All right. For the hard success, you overhear, even over the din of it. It's loud enough with the door shut, but with the crack open and the eyes peering out, you notice from within even more of the sound seems to pour forth just from this little slit. And you hear the red-faced burly man shouts. Intaglio. And at that, the slit you see closes and the door opens. He is let in, and you see another big face from probably 6'5", kind of peek around, see you, and shuts the door with a slam.
Off my arm.
All right then.
I guess we'll head towards the door.
Was that some sort of password?
I believe so. I didn't quite catch what it was.
No,
Me
neither did
either.
I.
Bang, 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 bang.
I didn't hear it. Just heard him say something.
Let us in.
You pound on the door, and the slits that you saw open before slides open again. The shit.
And Taglio.
And the door opens, and the rather very large, almost as wide as he is tall, gentleman looming over all of you, steps aside and allows you to pass.
As we walk in, I'll lean in and very quietly say into Penelope's ear, I'm glad that we're together for the night. And continue walking in.
All of you see gentlemen sitting around, sitting at round tables, with dice games going on. You hear the clinking of glasses, the laughter, several inappropriate jokes already floating on the air, as some music is playing in the background, very jaunty music. You see women of the night loitering alongside the various men at the tables. Some of them are summoned into a curtain parlor off to one side. You're pretty sure you understand for what purposes they are being escorted or requested. The rich green drapes separating the spaces, creating an atmosphere that people emerge and disappear in and out of the main rooms. As you look around, it's very much a party, and unlike anything that any of you, well, except for the captain, has probably ever encountered. Even the card room at the Crescent Hotel seems almost prim and proper, almost to the point of prudishness compared to what you are viewing and experiencing in this as you enter into the room proper. A few people look up and look at the four of you as you enter into the room, but no one really seems to notice or care. And you don't offhand recognize anybody just on a glance.
Does anyone look like they're like the main guy? If we're keeping an eye out, is that one that like either people seem to be very like respectful to, or like seems to have the audience of the room a bit more?
Let's do some spot hidden checks. As all of you kind of examine and take in the space around you.
Oh, I don't see anything.
The Reverend, I think his eyes are still blurry from the experience earlier. I don't think he actually quite realizes where he is. So he doesn't see anything. He doesn't realize the situation he's in. This is just
Ruth is trying to ironically shepherd him around. Mary Magdalene is the shepherd tonight. So she keeps just trying to pull him back from things and steer him so that he's walking straight. And as a consequence, she's actually rolled 60 against 25. So that's a fail.
I'm too busy watching Penelope look at everything and like gauging her response from everything with nothing else with my 77 over 25.
Because Penelope succeeded.
And I will put the general layout to the hotel in your...
I love all of these like references.
I love a general layout.
Me too.
It's a ton of these, and I adore them. And as you are looking through and looking around the space, Yes, I do believe our lovely travel writer notices off to one side of the main space of the gambling room, coming in through one of the lush green curtains, is a shorter man, very stocky, uh, with looks like he is probably chewing on a bit of a cigar. He has two very large other gentlemen, we use that term very loosely from the looks of them, on either side of him. And they are keeping a very cold eagle eye out as he, this, for anybody coming even remotely near the gentleman that they are protecting. He comes forward and looks around the room, and a woman comes up to him, almost stopped by the bouncers, the bodyguards, you think, and she says something, "But Darren, this guy over here, shut up, get back to work."
Penelope sort of gestures subtly towards him to you. And if I can catch the other two's attention as well and just do a little subtle like gesture towards him.
Yeah.
And before you, in the gambling room, as he moves towards a table off to the side of the bar, very nice, and sits down, the waiter brings over a beverage of some kind, looks like probably maybe a beer, and he sits back, kind of, you almost like he's surveying, like a king surveying his kingdom, as the two bodyguards stand on either side. You do believe that you have found Mr. Darren Fife, owner and proprietor of the Graves Hotel. And at that, we are going to draw the curtains closed on tonight's episode of The Well of All Fear. I thank you, the viewers, for joining us on this continuing journey, which will continue in our next episode, as well as our players. So thank you all, and good night.
Thank you for joining us for Act 2 of The Well of All Fear by Cat Clay. If you have enjoyed this episode, then please leave a review wherever you've watched or listened to this production. And if you'd like to support us further, please take a look at our Ko-fi. That's ko-fi/Miskatonic Playhouse, and our website, www.miskatonicplayhouse.com, where you can find us on all the social media platforms with links found in the show notes. Until next time, when the curtain rises again.